Never go light on Pestle analysis. This, in fact, could be the most important section, segment in your entirety of the report, be it marketing or business strategy. Many students go somewhat shallow in both Pestle as well as in SWOT, which is a mistake. Actually, the Pestle should contain the biggest element of the depth in terms of words and analysis, because entirety of the project depends on how critical you've been with regard to the external environment analysis, of course along with the internal environment. But when it comes to the external, nothing better than Pestle. But when you develop the Pestle, make sure there are three layers. Think about these three layers. Country reality, that means the target country that you're trying to enter, and there you might consider the realities in the local environment. That is two countries, right, if you do international marketing. And the other aspect is the business impact. Right through Pestle, that should be discussed. And the third one is very important, the suggested response. You can come up with some ideas as to the need to respond to the realities in the external environment. You don't have to follow up all those suggestions later in the recommendations, but you're completely free to come up with suggestions in the Pestle analysis. And make sure each aspect of Pestle has to be focused on what, why, how basis. That means critical analysis should be right through each paragraph of Pestle. Pestle, you do not write in boxes or tables. Make sure they are solid paragraphs. You could easily invest about 500-600 words for Pestle, and that will be definitely worth it. Or let's take a look at the political aspects. Now, again, focus on the key wordings, such as the geopolitical tensions. When you walk into a foreign land, you may have issues like sanctions. Are there trade disputes to focus on? For example, any product in Sri Lanka is not coming under trade disputes, but you may have the GSP plus European issues, and look at the US government's actions. And any geopolitical risks that we may encounter. For example, in South Asia, we do have problems of transportation, likewise. And the other thing is the issues at the country of origin, that means Sri Lanka, if we are exporting from our country for a market operation. Any challenges in the sourcing decisions. For example, our resources, obtaining of those resources may come into certain questions due to some of the issues in Sri Lanka, maybe weather, perhaps the climate. You have to consider those things also into the political aspects, in political factors. The response of the government matters in our development of a good Pestle analysis. So be brave to add those things and come up with opinions. Going further, economic. Again, look at something like even the pack size. What should be the size of the pack? What kind of sort of a purchasing habit the particular country is having? Do they go for a credit culture? And what about the exchange rate risk, which is a normal one that normally students go for? But what should be the angle? Should be going for a premium branding? Is it realistically viable? How is our competition doing there? Or should be mid or value-based pricing? So again, look for the key terms and focus on analyzing each term. Social aspect, a very, very crucial one. Look at how are we going to do our marketing? Should it be rational marketing, advertising, or emotional? Take a look at Sri Lanka. We go for emotional aspect of product promotion rather than a rational aspect of the product promotion. But there are many countries where the facts matter more than the emotions. What about the buying behavior? Are there any adjustments or the changes happening? How is the marketing impact? What kind of brand messaging is happening at the moment? Demographic changes, yes. And the ethics aspect of the societal reaction to a product. How important is that aspect? A very crucial one, foreign brands. Some cultures are pretty negative towards foreign brands, like the Indian culture, whereas some cultures are pretty much welcoming towards a foreign brand. So these nuances have to be tackled in your social analysis. Technology, a tough topic when it comes to any marketing, because This may be a region that may be beyond the comprehension of a business student, but research is needed there deeply. For example, what kind of digital platforms are doing the thing? So what you are suggesting in your media plan at the end of the report should be beginning up in the Pestle. This is where we analyze the digital strength of the particular market, how strong the digital promotion is there, what sort of channels are kind of preferred by the marketplace, and then walking into consumer protection, legal aspect. Typical report by average student is weak on the legal analysis. Look at this. Can the brand legally claim organic or natural? In Sri Lanka, you can easily put any word you like, but in a foreign environment, it's not the case. What you say has to be justified. From country to country, the legal depth is very different. So research on this is a must, and this is a crucial area where a marker, an evaluator see as to the quality of the report to deserve a distinction. So be very good at the legal aspect of it, labeling requirements, consumer protection, and there are rules on distributor regulations. For example, a country like Germany would want the packages to be returned back by the manufacturer. I mean, polythene packages, plastic packages. The design of the packaging may have some issues. So legal aspect requires a very, very strong paragraph in Pestle. Sustainability. The environmental aspect has become increasingly important in far more developed nations. You can't go for things like greenwashing. That means you cannot pretend to be environmentally friendly. You have to go with very justifiable facts about how environmentally and ethically conscious the product is. So when you write your what you call as the introduction, this aspect has to be touched in depth. And when it comes to Pestle, how the particular country is reacting to the green issues has to be discussed in detail. Focus on the packaging rules as well, because that's also connected to environment. And finally, take a look at these 5 areas. Always analyze the impact of each factor. Just the factors are not enough. When you come to the graduate level, MBA level, a Pestle analysis, what matters is the impact analysis, not just a description and explanation of the factors. Is the market specific? Many Pestle analysis by the students focus on the country aspect. No, we are not selling to entire country. We are looking at a particular market in that country. So we have to be very market specific and analytical there. And the other one, yes, you have to think cross-border. Analysis of the Pestle aspects in the local environment. That means exporting from our country. Okay, let's say we are thinking about Sri Lanka. No, we should be thoroughly focusing on cross-border. The Sri Lankan impact Pestle has to be discussed, as well as the destination market. And yes, the strategic decisions. So whatever we identify in Pestle has to be directly correlated to the conclusions and the recommendations as much as possible. So the depth should be there. There should not be a what you call as a missing link from backward. So when you reverse engineer the entire project, everything should begin from Pestle analysis. And next one, do not add more than 3 facts. Make sure these 3 facts are the most important one. The prioritization of the factors are extremely essential. Not just describing couple of 5, 6 factors. Never do that. Focus on 1, 2, 3. That's a good number when it comes to each analysis. And utilize the best factors. Don't add all the factors. So that's a description or discussion with regard to the using of Pestle in a more analytical and just critically analytical way. And remember, this is the place that a report should be having their Pestle analysis focused into. Catch you in another lesson.